Hello and welcome to the ZBrush course. My name is Antonio Bravo and I'm going to show you how to generate basic volumes to make a dragon's bust that will help you understand how to work your way around the program. The first thing I'll teach you is how to move around the interface, and we'll get to know the basic tools and functions that we'll use throughout the course. The first tool we'll take a look at is the Lightbox Shortcuts. This tool is a file explorer of ZBrush folders. Inside we'll find lots of tools and resources that ZBrush offers by default. We can also save our projects here and access them easily. We're not going to use this yet, so press comma or click on the Lightbox icon to close it. Now let's take a look at the tool palette. What's this? A tool is any 3D model sculpted in ZBrush. It's what ZBrush calls 3D models. There are lots of options to edit the tool in different ways. Along this course, we'll see some of those options. In this window, there are some default tools, and also in this window, we'll see all the tools that we open in ZBrush, and we can load new ones. If we click on the large tool in this window, we get this other menu with various geometric shapes in the 2.5 dimension tool, which includes some brushes. We are only interested in the shapes at the moment, and we'll select the sphere to start working with. Once we've selected it, we'll see a miniature sphere here in the tool, so we can access it easily. To start sculpting our sphere, we need to do a few things. First, we need to load the sphere in the viewport. The viewport is the big window that's in the middle of ZBrush, where you can see all the tool palettes, and it's where we sculpt. To do this, click on it and drag so you can see the tool. The next thing we need to do when we place our sphere on the viewport is to activate the Edit mode in ZBrush. Here we have Edit Object, or you can press T on your keyboard. It's important to always have this option activated, if not, we can't work. Finally, if you try and do something to the sphere, you can't, and you see an error message. This is because we haven't changed our tool into a 3D Polymesh. This is something typical of ZBrush. We just need to go into the tool palette and click on Make Polymesh 3D. When we click on this, inside the tool palette, a copy of the sphere is created called PM3D. That stands for Polymesh 3D. Now our tool is ready for sculpting. Before we start with the actual sculpting, let's take a look at some of the basic functions of ZBrush. In the menu on the left, you can select a brush from a great selection of brushes ZBrush offers us to sculpt. Further on, we'll see the basic brushes we need to make our bust. The next window is to choose the type of stroke. We don't need to adjust it right now, but there are various options to do so. Just leave it as it is. Then we have the button to select the alpha brush. The alpha is an image that ZBrush uses to give the brush shape. Depending on the drawing we put in the alpha, our brush will have one shape or another when we sculpt. Next is the texture. We use the texture to paint our tool. At the moment, we are only going to sculpt, so we don't need this right now. Finally, we have the materials window. Here you can select one of many materials that ZBrush offers to apply to your tool, making it easier to sculpt. By default, it shows up as a red material, but I prefer a neutral gray. Click on this and it applies to the tool. The next part of the interface is the brush editing section. First you have the Lightbox, which is the most important for now of these three buttons, as I explained before. Edit Object and Draw should always be activated so we can sculpt on our tool. This window here is for painting on our tool, the same as with the texture window. We don't need this for now, so we'll just leave it. Finally, we have the brush editing window. Here we have various tools that are very useful and we'll need to learn how to use them properly. First, there's Z and Z sub. These buttons work by adding or subtracting. So in relation to sculpting, it means they add or subtract material. To change between Z and Z sub, press Alt and hold it. This option is the intensity. It allows us to increase or decrease the intensity of our brush. The shortcut to modify the intensity is U. When we press this, we get a slider to adjust the intensity. If we increase it, our brush will add depth, and if we decrease it, it will subtract depth. With the size, you can adjust the size of the brush, and the shortcut on your keyboard is S. Just like in the intensity, a slider appears. If we decrease the size, the depth will be less, and if we increase it, then it will add depth. Lastly, we have the focal shift. The shortcut for this is O. This tool lets our brush generate a harder or softer shape depending on the value we input. Okay, now we know how to select a brush and how to adjust it. We're going to take a look at 3 basic tools in ZBrush. Let's start with the floor tool. The shortcut for this is Shift-P. This tool shows us the angles in the viewport, so we can orientate our model properly. On top of the little button here, you can see an X, a Y and a Z. Clicking on each one, we can see or hide each angle. The next tool is the Polyframe. Shortcut Shift-F. This tool allows us to see the topology of our model. The topology of a 3D model is the way the polygons are distributed. This tool is very useful if we want to know the amount of polygons our model has and the distribution of them. Finally, let's see how we can move around our tool, or model. There are 3 actions we can use when moving the camera around our model: rotate, pan, and zoom. To rotate around the sphere, right-click and hold. To pan, so to move around the sides of the model, hold down the right-click on the mouse and at the same time press Alt. To zoom, what we do is, whilst panning, so right-clicking and holding down Alt, let go of the Alt key without letting go of the right-click, and now you can zoom with your mouse, getting closer and further away. The last action we can do with the camera is to snap to a front, side or top view. Snap means to make the model fit in the view in a perfectly straight and aligned position, depending on what view we want. While we rotate our model, we place it more or less in the position we want it to fit in the camera and press Shift. This way we can make sure our model fits in all the views and then return to a comfortable workspace. So that's all for our first video of how to find your way around the basic interfaces of the program. In the next lesson, we'll start to use some brushes to make the volume for the head.